Did you know that SpongeBob SquarePants is not just a celebrity in the real world, but also among other cartoons? The SquarePants-wearing character has a legion of fans across the 5 continents, and even among animations worldwide. So, if you enjoy The Loud House, you might not have noticed that SpongeBob makes a few appearances in the show's episodes. This happens in the episode Left in the Dark. In it, Lincoln recalls that every Sunday night, his sisters used to fight over the TV remote. While they were arguing, several channels were randomly changing on the TV. And on one of them, you can clearly see the SpongeBob and Patrick Star cartoon. It's no surprise that the Loud family enjoys watching the Clumsy Sponge since both shows are Nickelodeon animations. Wasn't that a brilliant move? Nickelodeon's marketing team deserves a raise for sure. In addition to this episode of The Loud House, there are many other appearances and references to the most famous and beloved sea sponge on TV for us to check out and have a lot of fun. The Fairly OddParents. Speaking of Nickelodeon, the channel has given us unforgettable animations that have left a mark on many childhoods, continuing to entertain new generations. One such show is The Fairly OddParents, following the adventures of Timmy Turner and his fairy godparents, Wanda and Cosmo. And what if I tell you that our friend SpongeBob has also made an appearance with Timmy Turner's gang? This happened in the episode Technology Trap. And it's not exactly an appearance, it's more like a reference to him made by the Fairly OddParents cartoon. In the scene, where we see several kids using their phones, one of them appears who is simply identical to SpongeBob. But with a twist, it's the human version of Bob. Everything is exactly the same: the teeth, the eyes, and even the outfit with the red tie. That's what I call a tribute. Whoever had this brilliant idea deserves to win a Krabby Patty. The Simpsons. Another show that loves to make references and is well known for it is The Simpsons. And they didn't spare even the most famous sea sponge in cartoons. One of these appearances occurs in Season 16, Episode 4, titled She Used to Be My Girl, where SpongeBob only appears in the final credits when Lisa was inside the trunk of a car during a volcanic eruption, and she then says she was praying to Jesus, Buddha, and even SpongeBob. I don't think that was a good idea, Lisa. The Amazing World of Gumball. Another one of these cool references from the Krusty Krab employee happened in the episode The Slap from the 4th season of The Amazing World of Gumball. In this episode, Gumball and Tobias end up stuck on the school roof, and after a long time burning in the sun on the roof, they lie down. This scene is just like the one in SpongeBob the movie where he and Patrick are lying sunbathing. This Gumball episode is very funny, and I simply love the references that this show makes to other animations. Family Guy. And since we're talking about poking fun at others, there's a show that excels in mocking other characters from pop culture, including other animations. I'm talking about Family Guy. In the episode In Search of Rupert, Peter loses his driver's license and has to ride in the car with Meg. And when he acts like a child, in the classic Peter Griffin style, Meg puts on a cartoon for him to watch. And guess which cartoon it was? The Loud House 2. Once again in The Loud House, while the teacher is giving a lesson, we can see a board in the corner with some marine animals. You can clearly see that these are the animals from SpongeBob's gang as we spot a squid, a starfish, a crab, and a square sponge. References to Squidward, Mr. Krabs, Patrick, and SpongeBob are evident. This appearance was subtle, but quite creative too. The Simpsons 3. Speaking once again of The Simpsons, the square sponge appears once more in the episode Aquatic Wife, when Homer takes the family on a trip to a town from Marge's childhood. There, Marge and Lisa are visiting a kind of marine animal museum, and that's exactly where a statue of himself appears, SpongeBob. After all, he is also a marine creature, isn't he? Simply a work of art. So, are you enjoying our list today? I'm having a blast with these SpongeBob appearances and other cartoons. If you're a fan of this crew and enjoying it as much as I am, leave a comment below with #SquarePants and tell us who your favorite character is from Bikini Bottom. I'll go ahead and say that mine is Gary, and how about yours? Uncle Grandpa. And taking advantage of the fact that we're talking about cartoons where crazy things happen, there was a cool reference to SpongeBob in the Cartoon Network show Uncle Grandpa, one of the craziest cartoons ever created. In an episode called The New Kid, where the boy Tommy begins to imagine what his life would be like in the future, he ends up envisioning himself working in a diner very similar to the Krusty Krab, where SpongeBob works as a cook, making the famous Krabby Patties. You can even see a version of a squid that strongly resembles SpongeBob's stressed friend, Squidward. I wonder if Cartoon Network, the channel that airs Uncle Grandpa, wanted to have some fun with its competitor Nickelodeon. I honestly don't know, but this scene is hilarious for sure. The Simpsons 2. Once again, the Simpsons make fun of SpongeBob SquarePants in another episode. This happens in the episode where Lisa suggests to Krusty the Clown to sell his image rights for international shows. Then, we see an apparently Italian version of SpongeBob called Roberto Spugna Quadrati. Much more violent than we're used to seeing, but very amusing. This version is very reminiscent of Itchy and Scratchy, isn't it? Family Guy 2. There's another moment in Family Guy where we see SpongeBob. It occurs in the episode Be Alert, where Stewie is preparing to receive the Tooth Fairy and assembles his security team. The funny part is that one of the toys Stewie chooses for his security is none other than our SquarePants-wearing friend. I think Stewie must know some secret skill of SpongeBob that we don't know. Robot Chicken. When it comes to parodies, one of the most well-known shows for mocking all cartoons and movies is Robot Chicken. With a very sarcastic and acidic sense of humor, this show brought several moments featuring both SpongeBob and some of his friends. In the first season of the animation, SpongeBob and Patrick Star appeared doing a completely random dance. Totally insane. Robot Chicken 2. In another episode of Robot Chicken, we witness a rather embarrassing scene between SpongeBob and his friend Sandy Cheeks, where Sandy claims to be pregnant with SpongeBob. Man, can you imagine how this would be a dream come true for millions of fans? Robot Chicken 3. Another crazy episode of Robot Chicken shows what happens when SquarePants discovers that the Krabby Patty is made of, guess what, crab and other sea creatures. He gets very angry, and along with other customers, they attack Mr. Krabs. It seems like the Bikini Bottom crew is so funny that everyone wants to ride on this success, right? Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. This time, we're going to cheat a little on the list and talk about a very unusual appearance of SpongeBob in a series called Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. In this episode, the kids are taking the traditional yearbook photo and everyone wants to wear a cool outfit. But look at what one of the students chose to wear for the photo. I think he needs to update his wardrobe, huh? Since this series is also produced by Nickelodeon, this joke became even cooler. Futurama. Because the fun never ends, another animation known for making jokes and using SpongeBob in one of its gags was Futurama. In the episode Yo Lila Lila, the character Leela creates some stories and dolls that become a highly successful TV show. Leela's manager informs her that she had higher ratings than SpongeBob SquareScrew. Does that name sound familiar? That's right, these guys created a hilarious parody of the Yellow Sponges show. I confess, I loved this joke. Family Guy 3. Another mention of SpongeBob in Family Guy is in an episode where Brian questions the existence of Santa Claus, and Stewie is outraged, asking Brian if he also thought SpongeBob didn't exist. Calm down, Stewie. Of course SpongeBob exists, just like Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny too. Do you tell, or should I? Phineas and Ferb. Just to give you an idea of how famous SpongeBob's show is, even the mighty Disney, which is Nickelodeon's biggest competitor, couldn't resist and included a joke in one of the episodes of Phineas and Ferb. In this episode, the gang ends up on a deserted island and gets stuck there. They search for things that can help them get out, and Phineas starts digging and finds a sponge and a starfish. But soon his excitement fades, and he says it's a stupid idea. Wow, Disney, the joke was good, but did you really need to take that jab? This seems a bit like sour grapes, huh? Phew! There are so many appearances and references to SpongeBob and his gang in many different cartoons. This shows that the SquarePants-wearing character is truly a celebrity. If you remember any more that we didn't mention, let us know in the comments. And, as always, we're leaving you with 2 more awesome videos to watch and continue enjoying.